Guys, if you going to IBC in Amsterdam, just visit our booth and we can have face-to-face, we can have in-person meeting there, and we can discuss how we can make this game even further for everyone. So let's be friends. Let's have fun together and make the game win-win for everyone, both for hearts and minds. Anush, how about you? Are you ready?
Yep, I'm good. I'm all set.
Whenever you're ready, Anush, we can start.
Yep. Yeah. Give me a minute. Let me just share my screen. Okay. So hi. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anand. I work as a full stack developer, a platform engineer, and a software architect. I work for a product-based company based out of Chicago, but I work out of my India office. So I have close to 8.5 years of experience in the world of IT. After my college or after graduation, got into the IT job because interested or curious into it. I've done a lot. I mean, I've worked a lot on the Java stack, a little on the Angular stack. I'm mostly I've and a lot on the database side of things. So I've pretty much worked on the NoSQL, MySQL, NoSQL, RDBMS, GraphQL and a little bit on the analytics space as well, right? So one of the things which always kept me curious is the protocol or the communication layer. So initially started off with your basic REST APIs. Then I went back into history and did a little about SOAP APIs. Then GraphQL kept me interested, and I felt the most amazing protocol in terms of data exchange still happens to be protobuf. I do run into a lot of arguments that is it protobuf or is it not protobuf? Yeah. So apart from that, anything which comes into media share, it's always been WebRTC. So I've tried. Before WebRTC, I've done a couple of things on the HLS side of things. I've done a few things 10 years ago where I've connected a camera over a Raspberry Pi and using motion started streaming, doing a HTTP stream, right? So I've always been connected with the protocol layer and been doing multiple things. So as part of, and I'm an Uber geek, so I always keep trying something new, try to explore something new, and keep doing some experiments. So as one of my pet or one of my curiosity projects, and I was trying to explore around WebRTC. I've done a few things around the Node side of things, but there was something which came up, and I want to try things around the iOS side of things. So anything on the Android space is pretty easy. Anything on the Windows space, pretty open. But anything on the iOS space is very, very restrictive because Apple's put in their own restrictions. Right. So while doing these experiments, I ran into, initially started off working on say Flutter side of things because we wanted to build something on the iOS space. We started on the Flutter side of things. Then, we tried building our own Flutter web server, building our own Flutter web app, something which Flutter promotes it on their own side. But, I think they've not updated it over the last 3-4 years. And they do push in patches, they do push in fixes, but it's not pretty stable. So, I was looking at something more stable, more robust, and that is where I landed up with Ant Media. Initial thoughts of Ant Media, it's an amazing platform. So, I had a roadmap where, I built first I built an iOS app. Then, I wanted to add some bit rates. I wanted to add something on the frame rates. Then I wanted to add things about, how to record these videos. I was looking at, how do I build the UI side of things. I had a huge roadmap, but when I looked at Ant Media feature list and when I started integrating it, my list, which was supposed to, which would have taken me, at least say 2 months down the line, I think, looking at the feature list, I felt that I could finish it in in 2 days. Right, it pretty much had anything to do with bitrate. It has libraries on the Flutter. It has libraries on the JavaScript world. It pretty much has everything, at least to whatever I am looking for, and most of the developers who are looking for it. So that is where I stumbled upon Ant Media. Then I started working on a couple of experiments. then I needed some help, so I reached out to Mohit and Hemant and team, right? So that is where we started our conversation, and then we took it further, wherein we wanted to do things around WebRTC, right? Wherein we were able to. I was initially able to. The most of the basic things were covered, but we wanted to do a little more hardcore, a little more solid around sharing screen, because that's the most complicated thing in the iOS world, because they're very restrictive. So that is where I caught up with Ahmed, and I mean, we had a interaction over a weekend, and we could finally build an app around it, right? So then we had a further discussion that Hemant and Mohit invited me to do a webinar so that I can show the entire world on how easy is Ant Media to build uh, an iOS web streaming, right? So that's the whole idea and goal of the entire app. So I'm just going to run through on how easy or how simple it's going to be. So I'm just going to start with the very basics. I'm hoping that most of the people on the platform have some background on Xcode, iOS. So I'm just going to jump into app creation, and I'm going to take it further. And also thanks to Mohit that he did share me the credentials to the server some time ago. Yep. So let's create a simple app, and I'm just going to call it uh, media uh, stay. Let a pretty standard configurations, and I, it's a pretty simple, straight. I'm just going to create a pretty simple, straightforward, small application. Not going to load it up or add up too many features to load it up, right? So focus of today's demo is WebRTC stream using Ant Media for iOS, right? So yeah, just create an app, and you do not have to, yeah, pretty simple. Open Ant Media, you configure all your configuration. If you like to change your format of your what do you say, Xcode? So the lower the Xcode, the lower compatibility of iOS devices. There are devices maybe we've not updated since iOS 11 or iOS 12. So you'll also have to downgrade your iOS side of things. So you post that, adding a target library, or adding a package which Xcode or Ant Media provides out of the box, because half our adding this package does make sure that half the work is already done, because anything and everything what you would need in terms of stream is already taken care of this package. So let's say once you do this, you can always enter the GitHub URL. We've already created a document, so we'd share that document at the end of the demo, end of the presentation. So this package is an important piece of the entire project, because it is a package which includes anything, everything to do with iOS stream, anything with to do with WebRTC, and the important layer is the Ant Media connectivity. Once you're done with that, just validate if you do have the WebRTC iOS SDK on your project, right? So once you are done with that, I think we can get started. So first thing would be adding a target. So I go to File, New, adding a target, and this is the most important element. So these are all the features which iOS has to offer, which are not available out of the box. You will have to explicitly add them as a library and allow permission as part of your project. So let's say approve that, since the scope of my project is just the background upload extension, so I'm just going to go ahead with upload extension. I'm just going to call it broadcast extension. You can leave the rest of the things as it is. Click on activate, because once you add your extension, you definitely would want to activate it. Once you are done with that, go make sure you update your capabilities in your framework and library. Make sure you add your newly added extension with, I mean, the package which we did include, so that the entire project is aware that this is the SDK we would like to use. Yep. So once the extensions are added, then this is where our magic starts. So we start writing the code snippet for it, right? So replay kit is the layer which helps us do the communication. And since it's a broadcast extension, and since it's an iOS, since it's a iOS broadcast extension, there is a code which is available out of the box. We could you could go ahead and add your layer. Since in the interest of demo, I'm not going to edit this code, but I'm just going to replace the code with what is needed as part of the demo, right? So it's pretty much the same structure. What I'm going to have, not going to change anything new. It's just that I'm adding layers around, the broadcast started function and the process sample buffer, right? So this, as part of the document, the code is also going to be available. The only thing which we would need to do is, sorry, we'll have to set the WS URL. So let me quickly open up these and media service. So, this is your landing dashboard of Ant Media. I hope most of the people on the call are already aware. But this is the sample application, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to I can add an application. I can create new applications, or I can make use of the application what I already have. So I'm just going to make use of the application what I already have. So I'm just going to take the service. So let me replace the WebSocket call. So it's not going to be text media. Right. And I'm going to make use of the app. So there are two apps which are available out of the box. You can also add a new app, but I'm just going to take live app. I know I feel like I'm taking it. Right. So that is the only thing which we will have to do. And the code pretty much is self-explanatory. And, it talks about the target resolution. It talks about video being enabled. It talks about audio being enabled. So that's the whole idea. And, you can further extend your functionality of, what would you like to do when the broadcast is stopped? What would you like to do when the broadcast is resumed? And this is your custom functionality or custom layer, which you can always build upon, right? So once the broadcast side of things are completed, I think next is to jump onto the UI or the presentation side of things, right? So jump onto your view controller, or I'd say main dashboard. First thing I would like to do on the main dashboard would be the change the theme, because I'm already on a dark background, and anything on white and black is always going to be scary, because when I was doing my experiments, I set it as white background. When I changed it to black background, I couldn't see the button. I couldn't do anything. So I'm going to choose a very bright color for the demo, or the Ant Media logo. So I just pick a red. And uh, so this might be a little tricky, because somebody coming from an VS Code platform, somebody coming from more of a background development, anything to do with Xcode is going to be a little complicated, a little challenging. But they do have a lot of things available out of the box, so it makes our life easy, right? So once you go into your main controller or your UI controller, the important thing you will have to do is add an element wherein add an element or add a button wherein you can broadcast your data, right? You'll basically need a point of trigger to start your communication. So let me just say, let me add that. Oh, give me a minute. It's loading. It's still loading for me.
But by the way, I think Raul has something to say. Raul, would you like to say? Raul, are you here? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Why we didn't use the WSS while we are using the port 5443, that is for SSL, that we use in JavaScript SDK, but I'm not aware of how it works in the iOS.
Okay, about this port, right? It is just that the service or the server where Ant Media is currently running. So basically, this is our Ant Media application or Ant Media server. It is currently running on 5443. You can do your DNS mapping, or you can do your SSL to point it to port 80, and you do not have to specify the port. It's just that the application.
No. I am just asking about the WebSocket URL, WSSS and WS. This is
Yeah.
the difference. You are using WS, but
Right.
generally in JavaScript SDK, I am more familiar with it. We use WSS when we are using 5443, that is for SSL port, and we use WS just when we have 5080 port. So I thought there.
No, I got it. I got it. Yeah, so you're right. I'm sorry, Rahul. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, since it is running on HTTPS port, you're right. We will have to move it to WSS port. Okay, thank you. Right. Okay. So yeah. So the next part of it, right? Once you go into your view controller, you'll have to just click on export. Click on view. There's an option called show library. Click on show library. You get a window, and we just need a view component. So drag and drop your view component, and you have it in your app. So this is basically going to be the location. This is basically going to be the location of this is basically going to be the location where the button is going to be on it. So, let's add some life to it. So as part of the view controller, let's add some functionality to the view. Let's add some functionality to this. So now I'm just going to drag and drop this. I will call this video view. So yeah, I have a button created. Uh, Now, this is going to add some functionality that, I have a button created. Now I'll also have to invoke, okay, what happens when I click this button? So as part of it, let me import the other necessary things. Uh, the iOS SDK, obviously, which we had already added in the initial stages, add the replay kit. And as part of, oh yeah, the most important part, we'll have to import the and media client. Okay. So I'm just going to keep it very simple. So let's only add broadcast uh, for now. I think my machine is a little slow because I'm sharing my screen. Apologies for that. Okay, what I'll do is I already have a snippet. Since my IntelliSense is a little slow, I'm just going to replace with what I already have. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm picking up the RPS system broadcast picker. There's a default library part of replay kit. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to set the rectangle where this button is going to be placed, or width and height of it. And I'm also going to specify the identifier. So my identifier will be part of the project. So you can pretty simple go pick it up from here. It's it. You. Okay. Okay. Okay, so all done. So I pretty much have all my configuration. So I'm just going to summarize things I've done. I've added the library which Ant Media has to provide, which we will share end of the demo. Then second thing is adding the broadcast extension. Once I've done added the broadcast extension, adding some life into it, or adding the backend side of things, or that's what I would call the extension, the Swift side of things as. So I'll just call this. Uh, Thermal. Right, I'm just going to call it I'm just giving it a name called Manu Replay. Then this is pretty much straightforward. Then what we did was went on to the storyboard or the UI layer of it, added a view controller, then on the view controller dot swift side of things, we are just going to add in some life and invoke this button and tell it that what you are supposed to do. And we are good to go. So, if anybody would like to add additional layer, would want to do any more things like, add your custom logo, you can always go to assets and add your features and functionality to it. So, okay, as part of the info playlist, I'm just going to add a couple of permissions. So I'm just going to add a permission for microphone. So this is where you add all your permissions. So if you would like to add a privacy, say for you want to use your camera, you like to use your anything which Apple provides out of the box, but you would like to take its permission. So the advantage or the need of this info.p list and explicitly adding these permissions are right. Whenever you enable something, you would have to explicitly declare it on the info.p list. So when you declare something on the info.p list and when you start your application, the app is going to request the permission from the user. Are you going to authorize me to take up this transaction, or are you going to authorize me to use this feature like map, location, camera, and rest of the things? That's a pretty much a standard protocol every application would have to follow today. Let it be a web app, let it be a mobile app, or Android, iOS side of things. Right, I'm just quickly going to run this project. So I've already configured I've already connected my laptop. So I'm just going to hit the play button. Okay, I'm not sure if I can. Yeah, it's fine. So build, the build is successful. Okay. Yep. So the build is successful. I'm just waiting for the app to come onto my iPad. It would take a while because it's the first installation. Okay. Okay, give me a minute. I've run into an error. I think it's good to have an error. I was surprised that there were no errors too. To a caught exception and key lookup reason Thursday for an end. Okay. What I do is I will quickly replace this with something which I already have running. Okay.
I think there's just an issue in the video view binding UI view stuff or similar things. So when you're just resolving this issue, maybe we can just discuss about or remind something in our end as well. So what about sending the coffee link again? Because it is just, we just share it at the beginning of the meeting, and it seems that we have some visitors as well. So Umut, could you please share it again?
Sorry, Ahmed, I didn't catch you.
Of course.
Okay, so while you are
Here we go.
perfect, while you Anush, while you are resolving this issue, we are just discussing some stuff so that you can just fix the problem on your end.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so and the maybe second thing that we can discuss, the marketplace and the hackathon. For instance, who would like to share something for that? Umut, maybe you can also share, or Alper Ali, you can share as well, or Burak, about the hackathons and the marketplaces.
Yeah, let me share something regarding the hackathon. Actually, most of you guys are aware that we are organizing hackathons in each quarter of 2023. We have some winners here as well, by the way. And you can be one of them. For the fourth one, it will be the last hackathon of the year. Most probably it will be during this December. Challenge is not certain yet, but it will be a real-time streaming hackathon. So it gives you some kind of hints, I guess. So guys, I will all let you know, and we will be glad to see you among us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the marketplaces. Okay, Alper.
Yeah, maybe we should mention that one of the chance being in the hackathon is to also give you the opportunity to sell your product through the marketplace as well. Whatever you develop with Ant Media server will be sellable through Ant Media marketplace. As we just, as Umut said, we recently launched it, and we see that some opportunities as well in that marketplace. And this will not give you only chance to win the prize that we set up every hackathon, but it will also give you opportunity to sell your applications that you develop with Ant Media server through the marketplace as well. And we have more than 1,500 customers worldwide today, and which they are kind of looking for most of them ready-made solutions which they can use it right away with integrated with Ant Media server. I just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, definitely. So well, one of the scenario is in the last hackathon, one of the users just created a full-fledged IP camera solution on top of Ant Media server. So this is CamOS. So it has all the abilities to control your IP cameras. And I think he built this product in a very well. It's very detailed stuff. This is something that some customers are asking. And the second thing is just overlaying the things. The overlaying some things on the fly on the video sites for news or for some kind of sports stuff or some kind of other things. So it was very valuable as well. And also Richard is here. He is the third winner in the hackathon. Maybe Richard, you can say what you have built in the hackathon.
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So being a participant in your hackathon was a really great experience, because you are really friendly, and I think the hackathon is a great fun, and participant can develop a lot of idea For example, Axel and I made a remote trader application that connect trader bots data and stock exchange data. And earlier we made a telemedicine application. So I think being at the hackathon is a great opportunity for every developer, because a marketplace can be monetize your idea.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
fellow developers hesitate to being a participant in a hackathon or not, I think they should be a participant.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. So I'm also sharing the blog post of the latest hackathon. You can see the winners there as well. And there's as mentioned, there's an opportunity to sell it in the Ant Media marketplace. And the thing is that our goal is to be the WordPress of streaming, so that we can do that with the plugins and applications running on top of Ant Media server. And we just want to make this game win-win for everyone. So it means that you don't need to join the hackathon. You can just send something to the Ant Media marketplace directly as well. And we can make marketing together to sell your product to our current customers or future customers. And this is one of the points. By the way, Anush, are you okay to proceed?
Yep, I am.
Okay, so let's proceed then.
Hope my screen's visible. Yep. Yeah. Let the screen load. Yep. So the only thing was, I had to just recreate my UI view. I'm not sure what went wrong, but all I had to do was recreate my UI view, and I'm able to run it. So I've hit the run button. I'm able to, the build was successful, and it is basically streaming right now. So just to validate. We need to run the broadcast extension. The state. So I think it takes a while for the app to build and process onto the iPad. We are good at the moment. Okay. Stop. I'm going to restart. Run it on the Ant Media Thursday app. Okay, build succeeded. Okay, I think the apps come up. So I just thought I'll run through the Ant Media service. I'm sure most of you are already part of this world, so I don't have to do it. So I can. So a couple of things which I've done, which is needed for my demo. I'm not choosing an HLS stream, but I'm opting for more of a what do you say? I am opting more of a WebRTC stream because I want to do. My idea was to do a peer-to-peer communication and not. Yeah. My idea was to do a peer-to-peer communication. I didn't want to do a HLS stream where I have a server in between and then broadcast. So if you do remember, I created a stream called Manu Stream, right? So I'm just quickly going to share my screen. Sorry, I'm just going to start the broadcast, and you can pretty much set the resolution. So if you do remember, the bright red color is the sample app which we set, and the blue odd color is the layer for the button. Since I was running on a dark theme, right? So the entire layer is on the white and a black theme, and this button generally tends to be hidden. So, so it was that simple. Now I'm basically able to broadcast my screen. I'm pretty much able to see anything on my window. Right, so I'll just quickly open up YouTube, and I'm going to say there was a United game the other day. If you do hear the audio, if you do see, basically set my iPad volume or basically muted my iPad, but there is a audio coming in. I hope you guys can hear the audio. The audio is coming from the stream and not the device. Right, and you can further.
I have an idea. By the way, could you please let us know the link? Maybe we can just watch it in our web browsers directly.
Okay. Copy embedded URL, or is it copy publish URL?
No. Copy embed code, and we will just get the direct link there.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. It goes there.
Okay.
Yep, so it's as simple as that.
Yeah. So if we click the link there, I think it should start playing, and I'm trying, and yeah, it's coming for me. So yeah, and let me check. Yeah, I hear the match. So yeah, audio is working for me, and video is working for me as well.
Yep.
For me as well.
Yep. So it's as simple as that, and it lets you count the number of people who are active as well. And once you head on to the dashboard, it tells you the total utilization of the entire service. So yep. So that is about the entire demo. WebRTC with on the iOS space, the most complicated space ever.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anush. And I think here is the link. Build WebRTC iOS. This is the blog post that is written by Anush, and it is published on our website. So this is just a walkthrough of how we can do the things step by step. And if you wonder how you publish or play streams through your camera, and this is the first blog post that shows you how to send a stream from your camera of iOS device to the media server and how to play it. So there's also a video for that one as well. And I think this video will be available in YouTube soon, probably. Nur, could you please let us know your estimation? When it is going to be available in YouTube?
Monday at latest, I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So I think it's okay. Guys, do you have any kind of questions? Or Anush, would you like to say anything?
I think Anush actually. I have been working in Antmedia maybe more than 5 years, but this is the first time that I have seen how an iOS application can be created with Antmedia SDK, iOS SDK. Thank you for that, Anush. You have learned me.
Shame on you.
Okay, then. So I think we are okay. And the final thing that I just would like to mention is that, as we discussed, there is a marketplace, there is a hackathon, there is an opportunity for building plugins and applications. And the last thing is that if you just bring some customers to the end media through your experiences, through your development, we share the 25% of the revenue that this customer generates on end media. So that we just would like to make this game win-win for all parts, all ways, through development, by selling the products in marketplaces, or if you just bring some customer to the end media, so you will get the 25% of the revenue. So I think this is the last thing that I just would like to share. And is there anyone who would like to say anything?
Yeah, maybe I should kind of, also just mention about the exhibitions that we will be in next month. And although we used to be in the IBC as a kind of visitors, now this time we'll be open our stand and booth, and we'll be there in Amsterdam. If anyone's plans to be in IBC, we will be there at 5B14, and you can just come and have your coffee with us together. And we will be there as 5 or 6 of us from our team will be there as well, that we can meet and discuss the future opportunities about Ant Media as well. Just kind of kind reminder, if anyone stops by in Rai in Amsterdam, we'll be happy to see you as well.
Yeah, perfect. So what is the last thing that we need to do? Do you remember?
I think the picture. Huh?
Yeah, the picture. Yeah, guys, if it is possible, please open your cameras and let's have a...
I have a question for Anush Oz.
Okay, let's go there.
Okay, so Anush, can we publish WebRTC stream by using Raspberry Pi?
Sorry, are you asking if you can use WebRTC stream using Raspberry Pi?
Yeah. I'm asking for, can we publish any WebRTC stream by using our Raspberry Pi? Is it possible?
Yep, you can use Raspberry Pi. You can definitely connect your camera to it, and so you can always say camera be a source. So there was another demo. There was something which was part of the Ant Media documentation community, right? There are some sample applications where you can stream your camera and host it onto WebRTC. I'd done this experiment 10 years ago. I made use of a open source library called Motion. All you had to do is install Motion and set up a port number. It would work locally. If that is your goal, you could do that. But if you would want to do it using, that was IP streaming or HTTP streaming. But if you would want to do it WebRTC, you could definitely do it. I think there was a blog, if I'm not wrong, on the Ant Media space where somebody did do it on their drone, or somebody did do it on their
Right.
balloon satellites,
Right.
where they're trying to stream. So
Yeah,
so you could
I got
definitely
that.
you can definitely
Also that. Sorry. Please carry on.
No, you could definitely do that.
So can you please share? I just want to discuss about the Raspberry Pi. So can we connect by using mail or something else?
Let the Ant Media team take over that.
Okay. That's fine.
Rahul, I'm here for that. You can write to me. We will continue.
Okay, sure. I will write to you.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So guys, let's have the photo session. If it is possible, please just open your cameras and we will just have a picture. Then we will likely share it on LinkedIn. And don't forget to get your coffees. So this is just a small gift to show our goodwill to you. Thank you very much for being part of this meeting. You just add a value to here. And have a great day, guys. So see you in another webinar. Take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anush, for your time.
On LinkedIn.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.